Hello, this is Seal-chan, and this is the second time I'm going to record episode 4 of my long play Minecraft series. Yes, I recorded the whole thing in my head, sat here, talked and talked and talked, and then went back to OBS Studio, which I used to record things, and found that I hadn't hit start recording. Yay! So, I'm going to do this again. Practice makes perfect, I hope. I thought I did pretty good the first time, so just know that this is even better. Anyway, so as I mentioned before, which you didn't get to hear, was that this is episode 4. I made a list of the things I'm going to talk about, so I don't do what I did in episode 3, which is talk about the raw material research, which I really didn't do until round 4. Even though it's in my round 3 video. But that's okay. Practice does make perfect. I'm going to talk about what I did last time, what I'm going to do this time, or what I did this round, and then I'll talk about what's going on next time. Last time, like I said, we covered this this building here I did. As the mayor arrives in town, the first thing he wants to get going is a place for the community to store their stuff, community storage, and I renamed the research workshop into the research lab. Because as stuff is stored, the goal of the researcher is to investigate that stuff. And there's two kinds of stuff. There's craftable stuff that you can craft on a crafting table or other crafting machine, such as a furnace. And what I like to call raw materials, things that you might use a tool on a block or a mob, and what that tool will cause to drop. We've got soil, like dirt and gravel, exposed copper. I'm not exactly sure how that's obtained, actually. I'm going to stick it over here. Someone put that in there. We've got tree drops, like the logs and the saplings. And then we have the ore drops, the raw gold and the flint, let's call it, an ore drop. Something that the soil or a stone block will drop when you use a tool on it that's not the same as the block. Stone, diorite, andesite, and granite, which seem to be very plentiful in the latest versions of Minecraft. Plant drops like these melon seeds. Mob drops. These are passive mobs, so the cow's leather and beef, and the chicken's raw chicken, the pig's raw pork, and the sheep's raw mutton. And of course we've got our mob drops, so we've managed to get some rotten flesh, some spider string, and spider eyes. Chicken feathers, I'm assuming. It goes up here, and creeper gunpowder. So I just organize it like this because, you know, I like to organize and it looks pretty. If this chest fills up, I'm going to have to figure out how to increase the amount of storage, and I'll probably break up that storage by these categories. You know, maybe I'll have this stuff up here in one chest and this stuff down here in another. That's looking ahead. Someone dropped a crafting table here, which I'm just going to leave. It's not really a part of this design. But over here is the research lab, and last time I kind of talked about how to do research, and this time I want to kind of go over it again about how to do the raw material research and how I'm going to do it and how you might try doing it. But I also should mention, which I failed to mention, that when I build these buildings in here, I'm going to call them workshops mostly. But this one is a research lab. It is a 7 by 7 room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a 7 by 8 room. It's actually, gosh, supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it is not a 7 by 7 room, but it's a 8. This is an 8 by 5 room. The idea is the interior of my workshop is going to be about 8 by 5, and it's all going to be the same each time, but I'm going to vary the materials and maybe the siding, this style and the blocks. And I bump out these walls wherever I need to put in what I call kind of a workshop or a workstation or a storage area or a showroom. So this wall is not bumped out. I might put a window in here. Oh, we don't want to put a window in here because the other side is the community. Oh, I got more feathers. Is the community yeah, and then I just destroyed that sign. Is the community announcement board, which I'll talk about a little bit. Anyway, my idea is to build this kind of a standard build with a roof, and then knock back these walls one step if I need to, and kind of put all the things inside of these little alcoves, and that's just my build pattern. Yeah, so what it does is it makes building relatively easy. I'm not maybe being as creative as I could, but a lot of these workshops are just going to be big rooms where I need to put and store things, and I want a variety of them based on the different professions. And most of them are going to have some kind of crafting machines in them like this, and so they'll look a little different on the insides. They're going to look different because I'm going to use different building materials, and they're going to have different things in them. And as they build up in the village at large, they're going to give that village a kind of appearance that works together with itself. Plus, we'll have unique buildings, and my hope is that some of my fellow server players, like Lulbit here, will do her thing, and she'll build her stuff, and I'll try to honor and keep all of that intact and not, just do my thing over the top of it. So, I don't know. We're going to see how this is all going to work. So it should be fun, and I hope that the other guys are going to contribute as much as possible. In fact, I've had some contributions going on, and I'll share some of those in this video from other people. So, okay, let me check my list here. I talked about, oh yeah, what I actually need to talk about is how to do the research. So, after doing the dirt moat, I already had a bunch of stuff, more than I could keep in my personal inventory. So I had to have somewhere to put stuff, so my personal inventory wasn't just completely, trashed. I hate it in YouTube videos, and people go out and they're like, oh, I've got so much stuff, and oh, I'm going to go check out this dungeon, I'm like, oh, come on. You need to go back and put your stuff away and come back again. Come on, you can do it. Well, I'm very good at building storage and using it and keeping it organized. I just think that's part of the fun of this game, is actually being organized. I love it. So stuff goes in here. These are all the raw materials. These are all the crafted items. Every round I'm going to check and see if there's any raw material research that needs to be done. What that means is anything that's new in here, I take one item and I put it in this chest. I've already done a round of raw material research, so a lot of that stuff was removed because I completed the raw material research. How do you go about completing raw material research? Well, you do this. When it's time to research, you open up your raw material research chest. You see a bunch of items. You start at the top and you work your way through. Rotten flesh. The question is rotten flesh is a raw material. How do I get it? You get it from killing zombies. So on a list I keep of every block and every item in Minecraft, I make a note. I need hunting grounds. Hunting grounds, where are those? Well, as you've seen in my previous videos, mobs will spawn all around the village, maybe even slightly inside of it. So I have my hunting grounds. In order for me to move on from raw material research, I want to acquire 1 stack of that item. So in the case of rotten flesh, what that means is that I need to kill a bunch of zombies until I have 1 full stack of rotten flesh in this community storage chest. Right now I have 5, which means there's a bit of work to do. So on my list of to-dos for each round, next round I'm going to spend some time hunting. I'm going to look for hostile mobs, and I'm going to try to get more rotten flesh, and more string, and more spider eyes, and even more gunpowder, until I have a full stack of those things. Once I have a full stack of those things, that item is going to make it here to the crafting chest, the crafting research chest. These items, I have obtained 64 or more of them, so that's why they're here. What I do in crafting research is going to be for another video. Not this one, because it's not on the list, and I haven't done it yet. So anyway, next up is it's night. I'm going to go to bed. And there's Pig. Hi Pig, you can go inside if you want. Okay, never mind. I'm going to go to bed anyway. I just want to get turned into a zombie pig man. Oh, do I hear stuff? I went to bed a little late. Be prepared for the worst. Let's check things out. Run to the well. Seems to be my best vantage point in this town. Someday I'm going to need a watchtower. Yeah, I don't really see anything. Must have been a slow night in Darktown. Alright. So, road improvements. Round 3, not round 4. I skipped over it because I didn't have a list. I should have talked about this in the last video. Starting with the well, going in the north, east, south, and west directions, I did my standard road improvement. I got my shovel, and I made sure there was a 3-block wide path following the existing roads. I hooked up my doors with the grass path as such, double doors doubly, and I put in some, I picked acacia slabs so that I can just roll forward right up here. I don't have to hit the jump key all the time. Just something I like to do. I think it's a nice first step improvement in the roads. And you run around the village and you're worried about creepers. You don't want to have to trip over your jump key controller button doing your crazy fancy maneuvers. So I just make that super easy. And here's one of those new builds we have to check out sometime. Also, someone has interestingly put these half slabs around here, and I think I might like that idea, given what some experiences we've had recently. If we get a creeper in here, definitely going to want to test this out. Create a creeper trap. So yeah, that's the basic idea. So around the well, this still needs to be fixed, but it was very nice and beautiful. We just made these paths. I dug into the hill here, so I had enough room for half slab, full block, half slab, full block. Just easy, breezy stroll through the village kind of thing here. So yeah, so that's road improvements, and as I expand this village, that's the road style that I'm going to set as a standard. Once I get gravel as a certified supply, that is, I get a stack of gravel, I'm going to start thinking about upgrading these paths by making them into gravel paths. Just a way to use gravel because I can't think of too many ways to use gravel. And it will just create a different appearance in the village, and the grass paths maybe connect to the buildings and whatnot. So just, my idea for how to make use of gravel that might otherwise just get stored up. I don't want the community storage to just grow and grow and grow. I want it to grow, and then I'm gonna walk in there and I was like, I gotta build. Wow, I've got a lot of gravel. What am I gonna do with that? You know what? I could improve these roads and say, hey, now they're gravel roads. That's what I could do with it. And I would enjoy doing that. I like to mix in some of the tedious build work, like, doing these walls. Let's get these walls done and get them all the way around the village. I enjoy that. Not too much of it, but I like it. That's what getting the right balance is all about. So anyway, and one thing I did do, having improved all my roads, is in round 3, as in round 4, I put on my list to build a gate on the east side. This is to keep the mobs out. This was just a gap so that I could run out here to my stone quarry cavern area over there. But it's like, I need to keep the mobs out, so I did, the obvious thing, which is to go ahead and just put a gate and a fence, and there you go. So every time you come in, you should shut the door. This will help make this village safe, so you can stay up all night and not worry about watching your back for creepers or anything else. Plus, the way this turned out, I think it looks good. There's some advantage. You can kind of reach through and attack mobs over the top of the fence. You can get them to, hey, come over here, guy. To the skeletons or the zombies, and get them closer and then attack them. Yeah, you can get it. They're just the right place and they can't reach you. So it's kind of a nice, what I call a hunting blind, where you're pretty much protected from the mobs, but they're not protected from you, and that makes it so you can quickly and safely harvest mob drops. What I'm going to do with these other gates is really very much up to I don't know what I think once I get to the next round. We could build a south gate because this is a nice direction to expand the village in. This is the original road, and as we've shown before, it's kind of crazy. It goes up the side of the hill, because it was a really not great spawn situation here. And there's even blocks up there. And if you look straight up this thing, I bet you anything those are grass paths up there at the top. Not that anybody can climb that. But yeah, we're gonna fix all that. But I kind of abandoned this as part of the village till that's going to be a major construction job. And I thought about, hey, well, I could brought this road out here. Maybe this would be better because then I could just kind of angle it this way, and we could just easily expand the village in this direction. It's pretty flat. You can even move around that corner. I mean, it's just a nice nice area. Not the only one, of course. And the east gate's got plenty of room for expansion. That similarly here, I just kind of trace this out a little bit, thinking, yeah, we're going to need to go this way. Maybe we can kind of go off here right behind Albit's tower, make a gate, head over to the desert. But you know something? One of my co-players pointed out, it was Grim Foxy. Well, if you look over this way very carefully, that is actually right there, and you can see, I guess Lulbit put this kind of a trail of grass blocks. That is a desert temple right there. And according to Grim Foxy, Lulbit kind of looted the place, but Grim Foxy says, I'm going to build a base in there. And I think, that would be cool. We could easily extend the village in this direction, and we can hook right up with that desert area right there. It's very close, very cool. This shows you how little exploration I've done, right? I've barely gotten out of this village. I got here, I stayed here, and I've been doing this work. I definitely want to get out of here, but all in good time. I've got all of that kind of built into my process, so take a bath. So anyway, researcher residence. So having built this kind of a workshop, which I actually call a research lab now, the profession is researcher, and once the researcher has a workshop and they're certified, and they get to have a place to live. And I just found one of the naturally spawned houses, has a bed, and I slapped a sign on there and said, "This is the researcher's residence." This is also where I have my last living villager trapped. Once I get him where it's safe that he can go outside and I can find another villager so we can get our villager population back, there won't necessarily be an actual villager in here. There's no researcher profession for villagers. This is just kind of my role-playing thing I'm doing on the top of the game. You could think of all the things that I've been explaining as like mini games that I'm adding to Minecraft to help me so I can create this expansive village build as part of the game. Boy, sometimes it's just nice to sit and watch the sunset in this game. It really is pretty beautiful sometimes. And while the sun sets, I think we'll just watch this, and I'm going to hit the hay, and then I've only got one more thing to show. We should be done on this video. It's not a bad thing to just stop playing and watch the sun. Ooh, look at that. The sun just got smaller. Okay. I should do more of that. Alrighty, so last but not least, for this round I built this wall on the outside. I filled that window in and I posted signs on here. My hopes was that Wallbit and Grim Foxy and Foxy the Fox would all come back and continue doing work here, and I could show it and get inspiration from it, and it'd be lots of fun. So I decided I'd start trying to post signs here, and I put a chest here, and it's got some acacia signs in here anybody can use, and I can just slap this thing on here and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, somebody want to help me with this, you know, whatever. It's a way for us to communicate. We don't all play together at the same time, especially me. Like, for instance, as part of the profession role-playing, I posted as if I were the mayor. I wrote, "Digger hired. Report creeper holes so it can fix them." So if someone has a little problem with creeper holes in front of their base, not pointing any fingers at Foxy the Fox, they could just come over here and put up a sign and say, hey, yeah, could the digger come and patch my front yard up? And when I got on next, I'd be like, yeah, I'll do that. So I'll just put it on my list of to-do items and get around to it, and it'll get done. Anyway, that's kind of the idea. Grim Foxy also created several farms, including a wheat and melon farm, so I put a thank you sign there. Let's take a quick look off this way. He showed this to me the other day, and I thought I'd add it to this episode. So he'd started a sheep farm, 55 wool already, tons of chickens, Oh, wow, I picked up some eggs. Let's put those eggs in there, and they got chicken feed. And then there's a sign here saying Chicken Nugget Farm coming soon. On the last survival world we played together in, he had created this redstone self-cooking chicken farm. It was pretty awesome. So he's also made this wheat farm and this melon farm. So as I expand this village, I'm definitely going to start making use of these farms as part of the village. And if I need to harvest some wheat, I'll come here to get it. And it'll be great. Here, let's help Foxy the Fox out. There we go. I helped. Creeper holes everywhere. What a mess. Let's check this out real quick. Justin's Mine, free to use to anyone. Oh, that's right. So one of the players has built this mine. We checked that out too. So I could definitely, if I needed some resources, I could come in here and go, oh, got some diorite. Lots of diorite. Got some stone. Well, just like all diorite. Here's some stone. You know, you get the idea. Andesite. Because I plan to use each of these blocks to build with. So we'll make use of that, as well as my own cavern stone quarry. So we are, you know, we've got I'm getting a good set of resources going here. Let's see if I can make this jump. Nope. I didn't think so. And yeah, that's all part of making a village, and part of the build that I want to do is having all this stuff there. Very useful, very practical. And that concludes round 4. Round 5 is going to be about some more stuff. I'm actually still in the middle of round 5, actually playing it. And up to now, I've just been playing catch up. So what I'm going to do is start thinking about how to show me doing stuff and not just talking about my process. I want to talk about the process. That's kind of the initial reason I wanted to do this series. But here's a witch. Boy, they do like climbing those blocks there. Interesting. The big inspiration for me to do this series is to try out my method and to explain it to others and kind of just talk about things. But I'm going to try combining that with me actually playing. I try to find the right balance so that it's interesting, so that people that like to see builds, people that want to know this process can learn about the process. And I might name the episodes separately, so I might have a playing episode and then I'll have another episode like I've been doing where I sit back and talk about the process. Anyway, it'd be nice to get more subscribers so I can get more feedback, but I'm having a good time doing this series, so whatever happens, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will see you soon, whether it's in a play video or a process video. Anyway, thank you.